Hey, all ugly members. This is my youngest son, Joshua Franklin Manuel Jr., aka Mandingo Bravo Jr., 1 Bravo Jr. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Good. Yeah, he's a little sick now. He's got a little cough, but I just wanted to introduce you guys to him. He was born 7 years after we got back from our deployment, so he doesn't really know much about that stuff. You say hi?
Hi.
All right, buddy. I'll see you later.
Yeah. Bye.
All right. Well, so this segment here is we're gonna talk about the origin of the ugly name. I know Nick Wright, one of our founding members, also said that he thought that we should talk about that. So um, when we all got together in October of '03, Lieutenant Workman, well back then Lieutenant Workman, Lieutenant Colonel Workman now, of course. Lieutenant Workman was like, okay, you guys got 2 weeks. We got to come up with a name. You got 2 weeks to, give me all your suggestions. And I think, I'm not sure, chime in here, Colonel Workman. I'm pretty sure 2 weeks went by and it was crickets. We were all just kind of focused on, let's learn what we got to do or whatever. I don't know why it wasn't so important. You'd think now, the way we are now about the name, it would have been a huge thing, but you don't know. So, oh, and by the way, yeah, I could, a little tighter than what I remember, but I still got it. Still got it. Just gonna do a few more sit-ups, and it'll last a couple more years. So, yeah, so nobody came up with a name, So one day I remember Lieutenant Workman saying, you know what? Fuck it. You're all ugly as hell. We're just going to go with the name Ugly. And they're like, okay, fair enough. And then Sergeant Estrella was a big Star Wars fan, so the Mandalorian became the symbol. Still to this day, people look at my arms. Oh man, yeah, you're a Star Wars fan. It's awesome. Yeah, you like yeah. Sometimes I say yeah, and then just walk away. But when they want to go deeper into it, I'm like, well, actually, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. It's just, this is the reason why. My platoon from, back in the day, this was our symbol. We put it on our shields and all that. So, the first deployment, I remember we banded around ugly. We were all proud of it. But then when we got to Iraq, and then the Army started going in a direction to where they were like, look, we got suicides going on, and we don't want the soldiers to feel bad and derogatory when they're talking about their platoon and company names and stuff like that. So they were targeting names such as like Black Sheep and man, I don't even know what else. Just whatever kind of derogatory name, shitheads. I don't know what they named each other throughout the whole army, but it was an army thing. We're saying, we're not going to go with derogatory names. So I remember one platoon changed their name in the the 230th, I'm pretty sure. But we somehow flew under the radar and kept our stuff going. And even through the second deployment, '06 to '07. But it caught up when First Sergeant retired Moyle, when he took over the platoon in, I think, '08 and '09 and took them to Afghanistan, and it caught up with them. And they came out with he decided to say, look, okay, we're not going to get rid of ugly, but here is the genius idea I have. We're going to make it an acronym. Thank you, Sergeant Moyle. Awesome job. So ugly became, instead of capital U G and then little GLY, just plain old ugly, it became all caps U period G period L period Y period. So the U was undeterred by adversity. Correct me if I'm wrong on the comments. Um, I'm trying to remember this, and I'm really good. I just don't want to make sure. I want to make sure I get all the words right, but I may not. So, undeterred by adversity, gallant in combat, regardless of the situation, loyal to one another no matter the cost, and the why is you wouldn't understand unless you were ugly too. How'd I do? Please let me know. And if I mean that kept our name going, so we didn't have it taken away from us. So of course, until what is it, 2000, I think 18, maybe 19, when the 554 decided to change, or not to 554, but the new platoon sergeant of Ugly was like, I don't have no affiliation with this, so I'm gonna, we're changing this to, I don't know, Predators, I think it was. And when I heard about this, we were just, I reached out to all you guys, and I really appreciate the response. I don't know how it all went down in the 554 or in the Ugly platoon or the first platoon. I don't know how it all went down, but they ended up keeping or changing back to Ugly. I went down there about a year ago and took some pictures, and the Ugly symbol was still there on the door, but the door was closed, so I don't know what was inside. When I first started Girl, it's Goerl, First Sergeant Girl. He actually came here from here, and he was our DES ops sergeant, I believe, in the Kaiserslautern, and then he went down to be the first sergeant. And I'm actually still on Facebook with him. I'd like to hear his comments on this because he was there when it all happened. But I remember he made comments saying, I'm really inspired by how much camaraderie you guys have and how much loyalty you have to the platoon and the name Ugly and this and that. But respectfully, he felt it wasn't his decision to make by changing the name from Ugly to Predators. But thank goodness, I don't know how it happened, but the platoon sergeant and maybe the platoon, I don't know, maybe they had a meeting, they decided to go back. So thank you for that 554 1st platoon sergeant who realized what this is. And I know we should be loyal to the company, and we are loyal to the company. We'll always be 554. Look, it says 1/554, as tight as it may be. I mean, I know the letters are stretching out a little bit, but it still says 1/554 MP. We are proud of that. But, we deployed, most times we deployed as a platoon, not a company. I mean, that may not be factually correct, but in my recollection, my mind, my 2 deployments were with the 1st platoon and with another company. So I know there was deployments with the whole company. I'm not trying to take away from that at all, but that's why the platoon is so tight, even to this day. Our origins are just one platoon deploying. But yeah, I really do want to know what became of the false ceiling, the false ceiling art that Travis Watkins made, had the Ugly symbol on the false ceiling panels. That there was 4 panels that made one big Ugly symbol on the ceiling, and there was a sword that we had acquired from, I believe, Iraq. I'm not sure, and then hung it from the ceiling. I'm pretty sure. I mean, the Ugly platoon moved offices from one end of the hall to complete other side of the hall, closest, like right across from the first sergeant's office. So I know those 2 murals with the 18th MP Brigade patch and the 16th MP Brigade patch that Travis painted. I know they're probably painted over by now, which is, it's sad. That's sad. Well, whoever moved into the office was like, this has nothing to do with me. So, but my question is, why didn't 1st Platoon just stay in that office so that we can keep the art on the walls? and then the ceiling. When I talked to First Sergeant Girl, he told me that they were preserved, the panels were moved to the next office, and then the sword, all that stuff was preserved during this time when they changed names. So I'm hoping it went back into the office. Anyone who's been inside that new office since the last couple years, please chime in and let us know if that stuff's still there. So that's the origins of Ugly. Nick Wright, war hero, badass gunner, unfortunately lost his eye in an IED attack. But, my heart goes out to all you guys who got hurt emotionally or physically, in any of our deployments. But thank you for your service. I really do. I know all of us thank each other for their service, but me personally, I thank all you guys who have, never-ending battle wounds from those times. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your service. I cannot wait to talk to you guys on here. Please don't hesitate. Please, and I've had a couple people say, "No, I don't want to do it. I don't want to, do the interview." Please reconsider, because this is the preservation of our platoon, our heart and soul as comrades. Your story on this show is appreciated by so many. So please reconsider if you're deciding that you don't want to do an interview. All right, guys. Well, that's the origins. That's about all the knowledge I have on the platoon offices. Let me just show you. Let me show you the shirt again. Try to suck it in a little bit. That's about all I can do. Yeah, a little bit tight. Hooah.